Good evening, I'm John Lawrence. Welcome to Centre Bouts. Coming to you from our major sponsor, 722 Port Road, Beverley. We'd like to thank our three sponsors, which are 722, Bella Vita Pizzeria, Port Road, Ellerbee Gardens, and Spine Care Chiropractic. And we had Aidan on the show last week from Spine Care. So coming up on tonight's show, we are going to talk AFL, some interesting results again. Talk SANFL. We'll talk the Adelaide Footy League. Yesterday, Darren and I went down to West Adelaide for their show and tell, their history group show and tell. Fascinating day. We'll make some announcements, and we got two interviews yesterday from the West Adelaide history group. We'll talk competitions, and the gentleman to my left is Keith from the SANFL Scrapbook Facebook Scrapbook book group. That's a mouthful. Sorry about that. When I come back, we'll have a chat with Keith. Back shortly from 722.
Looking for a fun night out with friends? Want to enjoy a delicious meal with your family members or loved ones? Head on down to 722 Port Road, Beverley. Join us for happy hour every day. Check out the live sports action on the big screen or try your luck on one of our 40 gaming machines. Then settle in for a casual meal, including pizzas, burgers, pasta, or our famous steaks and schnitties. We've got great specials every day, and we're open for lunch. 722 is also the perfect spot for meetings and functions, featuring AV equipment and customised catering. Drop in and see us at 722 Port Road, Beverley, or check us out online.
Welcome back to 722, our major sponsor. So tonight, as I said before the break, we have Keith from the SANFL Scrapbook Group. I've got it right that time. All right, Keith, welcome to Centre Bouts.
Okay, how you going, John?
Good, lovely to meet you. And you've travelled all the way down from the Barossa to be with us tonight. And your lovely wife's partner, is sitting over there in the corner. I shouldn't be presumptuous.
Yeah.
But you're a bloody Port supporter.
Yes, I am, yeah. Mighty Magpies.
Mighty Magpies. Fantastic. Okay, so tell us about the SANFL Scrapbook Group. How did it all start?
Well, it started almost 12 months ago, the group itself, but prior to that was a few years ago I started a Facebook page, and I thought, well, I'll scan some of these pictures and share the pictures on the group thing, and then somebody suggested, how about starting a group, a bloke called Charlie Palmer. He's got his own Port Adelaide group. And I thought, okay. And so August last year I started a group, my scrapbook group, and unbelievable the amount of people was wanting to get into it. And then eventually, as time went on, I started doing individual clubs, South, Westies, but also with Woodville and West Torrens. I kept a separate one for them.
Oh, cool.
And because there's still very much passionate Woodville and West Torrens supporters out there.
Absolutely.
I've got about 11,500 members in all 11 groups, and about 5.4 in my main one, my scrapbook, and it was all about wanting to share the pictures.
Yep.
Get as much as I can out there, and then what was coming back was a lot more people had pictures, photos, and then trophies, and team photos, and footy stickers, old nostalgic stuff, and then ex-league footballers were coming on board.
Okay. So it's just the SANFL, you're not worried about two AFL clubs, or?
No, I thought make it just SANFL because we get plenty of AFL, and let's just keep it to SANFL, which there's still a lot of very, again, passionate SANFL supporters out there that love their SANFL, and they love the group because it's more focused about SANFL.
You're turn to make a mistake.
And then it's just sort of like bring some old famous names back into the fore, like your Lindsay Heads and Jimmy Deans and Jeff Motleys, and it's like keeping those names alive again.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's consistent with what Darren and I did yesterday, going down to West Adelaide for the history group's show and tell day where we got to interview Kenny Eustace, the 1962 McGarry medalist, and Jimmy Wright, who both played in the 61 Premiership under girls. And that was a fascinating chat with those two boys, which we're going to bring you tonight. What's the oldest book or budget, because we talk about footy budgets, for you youngers out there like my mate Mason Clutton and Lockie Keogh, they were a football record is now what they're called. They used to be called the football budget, and they were about 25 cents. Mason Clutton, ask your mum. What's the oldest football budget you've got?
Well, the one I got some from the late 60s, and but my main ones I love was the first grand finals and prelim finals I went to in '71, and I still kept them. And but there's some from the late 60s I've got.
Cool.
And but footy budgets have been going back for many years ago, although they were pretty basic in those days. But in later years, they had nice posters and stories and got a bit more sophisticated. But of course, at the time, people used to just throw them away, and didn't matter. Me, I kept them, and over the years, I kept them in plastic containers or cardboard boxes. And in the last 12 months or so, it's time to share and get everything out there.
Do you know one of my biggest regrets is that I've been in business for myself for years. I mean, I work for someone else now, but one of my customers, when I had a milk run, gave me I've been a Ozsports, as people who watch the show would know, gave me the 1934 grand final menu that they had after they won their first premiership. And in one of my moving houses or wherever it may be, I actually lost it, and I cannot find it. And I would love to be able to give that to the Glenelg Footy Club, but I cannot for love nor money find it. And that was and it was a treasure, bit of Glenelg sport, it was a treasure, but it was the oldest piece of material I had. So again, if I still had it, I'd be more than happy to share that, but I cannot for love nor money find it anywhere. So
it might pop up one day.
I hope so.
That would be worth £1.50. Because 1934, of course, Glenelg beat Port Adelaide.
Glenelg beat Port Adelaide, and Glenelg didn't expect to win that one, had no function organised, so all the boys went and celebrated down at Albert and fell over.
Well, in those days, Glenelg was only a very young club.
Yes.
Back in those days, but I think they came in 1925.
I reckon I think 24, 25, I reckon you're right there.
Yep.
So 71 you said was the first one, so that would have been Central's first time in the finals too, wouldn't it?
Yes,
Central's played Port in the prelim.
Yep.
And then North beat Port in the grand final.
Yep. Central's knocked off Sturt in the first semi-final.
Yes.
And that really put Sturt out of contention to win the.
Well, it was only final four in those days, wasn't it?
It was
only final four.
Yeah, and the 1971 and 72 prelim finals. Love to see them again on tape. I was at both of them, and they were brilliant games. And I still remember, I think it was Johnny Carl kicked a goal after the half-time score, and funny enough, we only won by less than a goal. I think it was in the 71, but they were great prelim finals. But the grand finals, well, that's a different kettle of fish, because I went to now the boys' tech, and that was primarily all North Adelaide, and one of my teachers was, guess who? Terry Von Berto.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And he was a woodwork teacher there, and
played North and Nord.
Yeah, I just didn't want North to win the 3 in a row, so definitely the only time I barrowed for the Bay was in '73.
I knew I liked you.
One of the best grand finals.
Oh, absolutely.
And for the last one at that time, at Adelaide Oval, you couldn't get a great finish. And my best mate was with me, Stephen Fenton, and he had his Glenelg lace up Guernsey and all. So
that and yeah, I am a Glenelg supporter, but not being biased. That was probably the best game of football I've seen.
Magic.
It was amazing, and for Bob Hammond to hold Fred Phillips, who kicked 100 goals that year, basically goalless for most of the day. Peter Carey is a 19-year-old kicking 6.
Yeah.
Barry Robin was just absolutely, him and Russell Eben are two best players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Robin was absolutely stunning that day.
Yeah.
And okay, yes, it's a trip down memory lane, but this is what it's all about, having Keith on our show. He's talking about the history and the nostalgia. And it was so hot, like Bobby Tregenza, the Glenelg ruckman, spent a week or so, he was a butcher by trade, spent a week or so in hospital on a drip because I was actually there that day, sitting in the outer with my mum and dad, my two brothers, and it was just such a hot day. And back then they had because back then they had 17s and 19s.
That's right.
So they had 17s, 19s reserves league. Woodville won the reserves.
That's right.
And the great Johnny Girardi and his brother Steve both played in that. And Glenelg, West Torrens in the under 17s, under 19s, sorry, and Neville Roberts would have been in that one.
That's right.
And a few guys who went up playing league footy with Glenelg, Paul Weston, David Holes, Kimmy Hodgman. And Glenelg were in the 17s, and I reckon that was against Norwood.
I think you might be right. And Johnny Carl had the Coca-Cola Cup.
That's right, Johnny Carl had the Coca-Cola Cup, that's right. And they used to present the McGarrett medalists at half-time in the Coca-Cola Cup in those days.
That's
on
right.
The oval.
Yep,
There was no telecast, nothing like that.
No, you would, the McGarrett medalists do ride around the oval.
Yep, that's right.
Malcolm Blight was one.
Yep.
And it was really, great. That's the beauty of this Facebook scrapbook group, that people can relive those great memories, and ex-players can even chat to other members or vice versa, and can ask them questions, what it was like.
Fantastic. So in closing, how do we add? So we go to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we'll put the link up after. Darren and I'll put the link up after.
Yep.
Go to the Facebook page and just key in SANFL scrapbook.
Yep. And you'll see it. And anything with scrapbook written on there, that's me.
Beautiful. Fantastic. All right. So we're going to go to a brief. Keith, thanks very much for joining us tonight and sharing some of your experiences. We'll get that out there. We'll promote that over the next few weeks, and we look forward to seeing you again.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Okay. Bye.
So that was Keith. We'll be back shortly from 7:22. Going to a break now. Thank you.
Welcome to Spine Care Chiropractic. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to show you exactly what we do here at Spine Care. Our mission, to provide the best possible spine and nervous system assessment and care that we can.
At Spine Care, we see and care for people from all ages and walks of life. Our clients include young to middle-aged adults, newborn babies, toddlers, school-aged children, even grandparents and great-grandparents. Age is no barrier to improving your spinal health. And at Spine Care Chiropractic, we can help you discover a better, healthier you.
People come to Spine Care Chiropractic for many different reasons. Some seek relief from aches or pains, such as neck pain and headaches, lower back pain and sciatica, disc injuries. Others are looking for improved health, including greater flexibility, more energy, improved posture, or simply a better standard of health and well-being. Whatever your reason, be assured that Spine Care Chiropractors are here to help you achieve your individual health goal.
Our spine care practices provide the highest level of professional and friendly care and use the latest technology and equipment. Our modern clinics are child-friendly and are staffed by people who care about you and your family's health. Your journey towards better health starts with your very first visit. Your initial consultation is our chance to find out the best possible way that we can help you. Your thorough initial examination may include your health history, along with orthopaedic, neurological, postural and range of motion examinations, as well as paraspinal nerve scan and x-ray for analysis. Your examination, scan and x-ray will allow us to know what's happening with your spine and nervous system. We will explain what these results mean for you and structure your chiropractic care so that you can start your journey towards feeling and functioning better.
To find out how we can help you, call your local spine care practice to make a time for your initial consultation and examination. We offer early morning and evening appointments for your convenience, and our friendly chiropractic assistants are here to help answer any questions you may have.
Welcome back at 7:22. Let's talk AFL. So around some more upsets. Friday, Collingwood, a week after everyone was questioning where they were, They raised the upset against flag favourite West Coast, beating by a point in Perth, and they strengthened the life out of West Coast, particularly after quarter time. Interesting game, interesting result. Saturday, in the best game of the round, Carlton beat Sydney in Sydney, and that was another upset, probably the season upset to be honest. Longmire signed a new contract to Sydney last week, and this commentator thought he was going to go back to North Melbourne. Got that wrong. Hawthorn booked Freo away, Freo in a bit of trouble. Essendon, the other game in the round, outclassed North Melbourne. McDonald, Tim and Woody kicking 4, fantastic. Adelaide went to the Gold Coast and thumped Gold Coast in a great response to last week's showdown. Eddie kicking 6, and new player Stengel, first game for the Crows, he hit the scoreboard as well. Reality is Gold Coast are inept, and I make no apologies for saying that, but the last 2 results show that. And St Kilda again, very, very competitive against Geelong. I can't see how they can get rid of Richardson when they keep, serving up performances like that. Geelong were 27 points at home. Richard made 3 in a row against GWS and raised some questions about Cameron and GWS. And I believe, my personal opinion, they may have missed the opportunity for a premiership. With the talent they've got, they should be a lot fairer than advanced. Western Bulldogs were too strong for Melbourne, whilst Port's up and down season continued with a big home loss to Brisbane. Think about this, if they get beat by Richmond this week, that means that Port are on a pair. Think about that. So this week, Friday, Adelaide Essendon, game of the round. Adelaide to win at home, after coming off the big win against GWS. Saturday, Carlton Gold Coast. Carlton make it 2 in a row, which means the Crows may not get the #1 pick. Richmond Port. This will be another cracking contest over the border. Port need to respond, but I think Richmond at home, and they're playing good footy. They're getting all their stars back. GWS with Collingwood in Sydney. I'm going GWS only because it's at home, and Collingwood coming back from Perth, but I have no conviction on that one at all. Brisbane, North Melbourne, and Brisbane easily, although Young Shaw's done a great job with North Melbourne. Freo, Sydney. I originally said Freo at home just, but I'm going to pick Sydney. I think Freo is stronger. Sunday, Geelong, Hawthorn. Another great game with great rivalry. I think Geelong. Melbourne, West Coast. West Coast too strong for Melbourne. Sydney, Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs just. Now, before we go to the break, we're going to go to the interview we did with the history group from West Adelaide with Bob and Jeff. It was a fascinating day, and we thank that group for their hospitality yesterday, and it was a great event. So we're going to go to a break with that interview, and when we come back to 7:22, we'll talk SANFL. Going to a break now. Good morning, welcome to Centre Bounce. A very, very special Centre Bounce this morning, Sunday the 14th of July. We're coming to you from the West Adelaide Football Club, where they invited us down to host their history group's show and tell. We're going to go into the Sturt P room at the West Adelaide Footy Club and have a look around. There are lots of people around, and then we'll sit with a couple of the members of the history group and have a chat and have an interview. But this is a very, very special broadcast, and we thank Luke Jamieson and Jeff Jamieson for setting this up for us. Coming to you from West Adelaide Footy Club, Centre Bounce. We'll take a short break and we'll go into the history room and have a look around. Back shortly.
Okay, so we're in the Sturt P room, which is the history group's show and tell today. On the wall here, we've got some of the Guernseys of the West Adelaide Footy Club, the 200 club Guernsey here. Johnny Taylor's featured, who went on to coach Glenelg. Going down, Leon Grosser, 83 premiership player. Peter Winter, Rob McKinnon, another premiership player. Grantley Felke, McGarry medalist, premiership player. Paul Hollywood Patterson, who went on to play at the Crows and coach Henley. Greg Miller, very, very good footballer. And David Kerr, who I believe is still playing amateur league footy. So there's some of the names of the 200 club and a photo of the legendary Grantley Felke. Lovely man, Grantley. And then on to the next one, Roger Luders, the famous number 29, high-flying full forward in the mode of Tony Modra, for those who wouldn't remember. Roger kicked 105 goals in the premiership year of 1983. He's a life member of West Adelaide Footy Club, as you can see from the Guernsey, and West Adelaide's all-time leading goal kicker. Fabulous career by Roger Luders. The next Guernsey, a bit of controversy on this one. We found it earlier, which we'll talk more about. Bob Keddy, when he coached here, Bob Keddy played at Richmond, came over, played at West Adelaide and South Adelaide, coached both West Adelaide and South Adelaide, changed their Guernseys to the black and red stripes in, I reckon about 72, 73, but I will have that confirmed. You can see Serafino Wines, who are still around the place, were sponsoring in those days. Adelaide Galvanising Industries, who have been a major sponsor of West Adelaide for a number of years, and a very, very big player with West Adelaide with this Guernsey. So we'll move on to some of the older photos, some of the black and white photos that said this room is amazing. So we can see here the premiership side at 1961. That would have been Neil Curley as coach, who also coached the 83 premiership, which is on the big screen, which we'll show you in a minute. 1901 as well. The old Foxtel Cup. Foxtel ran a Foxtel Cup open to Amateur League, SANFL clubs, VFA clubs. Ran for about 3 years, and West Adelaide were part of that. It was the premiers and the runners-up from each side. There were sides from Tasmania as well. So that was their Guernsey, and they did pretty well in that. Actually, the old West Adelaide, I think they did actually win it one year, as you can see from the plaque here. But that was ran about 3 years, similar to what they do with the soccer, but unfortunately it no longer is in existence. On the next one, we have the 47 premiership team. So there is an amazing history with West Adelaide. Dates way back, and we'll talk more about that with the group. But this is a 1947 premiership team. Amazing stuff. Loving all the old photos. Of course, West Adelaide known as the Bloods, and we've got a big Bloods logo up here. Went to the Wolves at one stage controversially, and then came back to be the Bloods and are still known as the Bloods. So we'll move on, and I'll get Darren to just run through these photos for you and see what's here as well. So while he's doing that, we'll just take a quick break. The noise you can hear is on the big screen, as I said, the 83 grand final, West Adelaide Sturt. West Adelaide were amazing that day. It was their first flag for a very long time. Their captain, unfortunately, Mark Rubbers Micken, didn't play in this game due to injury. But as I said, fantastic result for the club, and from all reports it was a very big night back here at Richmond that night.
Yeah, well, I just say
a few legends running out there for West Adelaide. Ian Borchard, Peter Muret, Bruce Lindo wound up at Geelong, and then the Adelaide close. He was an absolute freak. Who else would have been in that side? Actually, obviously, Roger Luders kicked 100 goals, as mentioned earlier that day. Larry Watson, brother of Essendon's Tim Watson, played in that side. So, as I said, there was some real quality in that game for the West Adelaide Footy Club. Jeff Morris there, who wound up being an assistant coach at Port Adelaide at one stage, also featured very, very prominently in that game of football. Okay, so we're here with Bob and Jeff from the West Adelaide History Group. Thanks very much for allowing us to come along today and record. So, got a few questions for you. So, Bob, how did the History Group form?
Look, parts of the club had bits and pieces scattered around the place. The Westonians people had their own collection, and it was about 7 years ago that one of the current West Adelaide Football Club board members, Graham Barton, thought we need to rejuvenate the history side of it, and he actually convened the first meeting of the current group, and it's taken off since then. It's been a really good exercise, and it's attracted a lot of interest from non-members, from people who have been through their archives at home, and they've donated things to the club. So it's been a really good exercise, and today's the first day that we've had it on public display.
Fantastic. It really is an awesome display, and I think it's great. All right, so you're going to take the next one, Jeffrey? West Adelaide has a rich history dating back to inception in 1892, where the club wore red, white and blue. When did they change to red and black?
They changed to red back in 1897.
1897, fantastic. So, Bob, when did the club moved to Richmond?
Well, I'm told by experts that the first game was played here in 1957.
58.
58 now. Well, anyway, they actually spent some time, of course, building the oval and the club, because it was just paddocks, and there was a lot of cooperation from the council at the time, and I only lived a couple of blocks away from here, and I remember some of my very early memories, pre-school days, coming with my parents to watch games at Richmond Oval.
Fantastic. I don't know whether you know, do you remember the Braids from Davis Street at West Beach? Fred Braid played here, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Freddie actually, yeah. Well, David, Donna and Rick went to school at West Beach Primary with Jeff and I, and went on to Henley High. But Mrs. Braid used to be a tennis player when I was knocking around with David, and there used to be tennis courts just near here, because he and I used to nick off to the deli just around the corner off Milner Road. So, and that's way back. Yeah. All right. Next question. You've been known as the Blood and Tars, the Wolves and the Bloods. How did all that come about?
Also the Bottle Tops.
Also the Bottle Tops. I missed that one.
Yeah,
Gee.
We were, because of our association with West End,
yep.
That's where we got the Bottle Tops from. That's a good question, the Blood and Tars.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Blood and Tars. Of course, Wolves was from over the border.
Yep.
Keddy was the new coach at the time,
72,
and he also introduced the horrible vertical red and black stripes,
yep.
as well as the introduction of the Wolves. I don't think it lasted any more than 3 or 4 years, did it? It was not popular with anybody. So we're certainly quite happy to see the Blood and Tars.
Okay, we're just going to take a break for a minute.
Welcome to Spine Care Chiropractic. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to show you exactly what we do here at Spine Care. Our mission, to provide the best possible spine and nervous system assessment and care that we can.
At Spine Care, we see and care for people from all ages and walks of life. Our clients include young to middle-aged adults, newborn babies, toddlers, school-aged children, even grandparents and great-grandparents. Age is no barrier to improving your spinal health. And at Spine Care Chiropractic, we can help you discover a better, healthier you.
People come to Spine Care Chiropractic for many different reasons. Some seek release from aches or pains such as neck pain and headaches, lower back pain and sciatica, disc injuries. Others are looking for improved health, including greater flexibility, more energy, improved posture, or simply a better standard of health and well-being. Whatever your reason, be assured that Spine Care Chiropractors are here to help you achieve your individual health goal.
Our spine care practices provide the highest level of professional and friendly care and use the latest technology and equipment. Our modern clinics are child-friendly and are staffed by people who care about you and your family's health. Your journey towards better health starts with your very first visit. Your initial consultation is our chance to find out the best possible way that we can help you. Your thorough initial examination may include your health history along with orthopaedic, neurological, postural and range of motion examinations, as well as paraspinal nerve scan and x-ray for analysis. Your examination, scan and x-ray will allow us to know what's happening with your spine and nervous system. We will explain what these results mean for you and structure your chiropractic care so that you can start your journey towards feeling and functioning better.
To find out how we can help you, call your local spine care practice to make a time for your initial consultation and examination. We offer early morning and evening appointments for your convenience, and our friendly chiropractic assistants are here to help answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Darren. So, Jeff, this one's for you. I've known you, your brother Ken, your late parents who were great people for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Did your passion come from Barb and Don for West Adelaide? And I know you're very passionate with that bloody other baseball club. Jeffrey and I play at rival baseball clubs and have been for years, but we've been mates 40 years. Jeff and I both grew up in the heartland of what was the heartland of West Adelaide, West Beach, and as I said, we go way back 40 years. So you get your passion from your mum and dad?
Absolutely, yeah. Playing schoolboy footy at West Beach, all the players used to come down and train us, and playing party nights, the Westie boys used to roll up, and Dad used to bring me to the football all the time because he was a trainer, so if I was to stay home or come and watch Westie, so the passion grew, and here we are, 40 years later, still love the Bloods.
Yeah. I remember the old pie and parsley nights at West Beach Primary School, because I don't know whether you remember, my mum cleaned the school in those days at West Beach Primary, and it used to be in the units. They used to set up in that unit. They put in a unit, open space. They went to open space planning, and we had the pie and parsley nights in there. Dexter Kennedy, because Dexter lived at West Beach in those days. He was one of the mainstays of it all, the big ruckman. So yeah, remember all those days.
It's interesting to note that the West Adelaide Junior Football competition, and I played for them in the 60s for 4 years as a youngster, and it was a great time, but they were called the Richmond Tigers, and they actually played against primary schools. So you had a football club putting a team playing against other schools. So it was quite a strange mixture of competition, but yeah, Richmond Tigers and that. We had an awful looking North Adelaide style red and white Guernsey.
Well, that's interesting, because I mean, a bit of trivia for me, and I'll claim it. I actually played mini league for West Adelaide on Footy Park back in the days where they played across the ground. And you could suggest that would have been 74, 75, somewhere around there, and we played North Adelaide. So and that was actually, it was the Coca-Cola mini league, and it was actually broadcast on Channel 7. Yes. In those days. Fantastic. Okay, to both of you, one at a time, who's your all-time favourite West Adelaide player?
Look, it has to be Robert Day. I mean, growing up at Mile End and coming to all the games at Richmond and Theberton in particular, in the days of Robert Day playing centre and doing those drop kicks from centre and almost scoring a goal sometimes, the ball would go from Doug Thomas being full back into the centre. Robert Day might get it, bounce it once, kick a goal. Incredible. Robert Day for sure.
Robert Day and Luke. I'm sorry, Jeff. Luke's your son. Sorry, Jeffrey.
There's so many of them, right? There's so many great Westies players, but back in the day, I'll go back to 83 when I used to run around in the cheer squad with Larry Watson on me back. So I used to love watching Larry play, and all good memories from that.
Premiership player, 83. I will say, however, Jeff did say the 22 that beat North Adelaide yesterday early on, so big win for West Adelaide yesterday. Mine, even though I'm a passionate Glenelg supporter, been a ruckman myself. Mine has to be Dexter Kennedy.
Yeah.
Loved Dexter, and
school,
loved Dexter and the way he played it, and also obviously Rubbers Micken as well. Also been a ruckman.
Tell some good stories when you listen to Dexter talk.
Oh, absolutely. I bet you got a few.
And there was a lot of trouble too, because at Adelaide High they wouldn't let Dexter play for West Adelaide, and there was a big dispute over that.
That's right.
And he wasn't the only one in the same.
Because they had the same with Greg Anderson with St Michael's in Port Adelaide. So his parents pulled him out of St Michael's College and put him in Woodville High.
And I think there was McDonald, ruckman for West Adelaide as well. He was another Adelaide High guy. That, interesting.
It is. Okay, your all-time favourite moment, Jeff?
All-time favourite moment? Oh, probably that's got to be that memory of '83 when we won that grand final, but 15 was pretty special too, so I'd say the two grand final wins are both up there together, mate, Because we don't see too many wins at Westies and grand finals, so, mate, they stick strong, those two.
I have to say, being at Adelaide, able to see that 2015 grand final was pretty good. 83 was good, but just for some reason that 2015 final, very good.
Special, wasn't it?
I was happy with 2015 because, I thought Mark Micken did an exceptionally good job when he coached my beloved Glenelg, and I was very disappointed when he got moved on there, and for him to come back home to the club where he grew up and win a premiership, I think that was very, very special.
Yeah.
Just personally. Okay, so finally, to both of you, and again, really appreciate your time. If people want to donate to the West Adelaide History Group, how do they go about it?
Look, the easiest way is they can contact the club by phone if they wish, or just come to Milner Road at Richmond, and there's a simple form to fill in for any donations of artefacts. It's pretty easy stuff. Go on our website and follow the prompts. It's great. There's a lot of stuff still out there in people's cupboards. Yeah. Yep.
And you're happy to as well. They can find you on Facebook, can't they?
Yeah. If they can contact any of the committee members, pretty well anyone from Westies, they can. There's a little form that they can fill out, and that way we know who's donated it, and someone from the group will write them a letter and thank them to let them know that we've got it, and it could end up in a display like this one day.
All right, thanks very much. Can I also say that the history of the West Adelaide Footy Club on the West Adelaide Footy Club website, wafc.com.au, has got lots and lots of information there, and that's where I got most of the questions for today's interview. So, Jeffrey, Bob, thanks very much for your time. And we're going to do an interview with a very special guest, ex-player Ken Eustace shortly, who was a Murugiri medalist, ex-coach, ex-committee member. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with Centre Mounts. Thanks very much. Pan quickly down the collections, and then we'll go to the tables in the middle of the room. But again, an amazing collection that the history group have put together, and bear in mind these people are all volunteers, so reaching into their own pockets to do this is absolutely fantastic. You can see the team of the century featuring some notables like Luders, Muret, Felke. Borchard's probably in there as well somewhere. So yeah, amazing collection. See the 83 grand final umpires, Laurie Argent and Rick Kinnear. Rick Kinnear, brother of Port legend Kim Kinnear, wound up running a sports store on Crittenden Road at Woodville South, of all places. Lovely man, Rick Kinnear. Laurie Argent was very instrumental in hydroponic growing of vegetables out at Buckland Park, Elizabeth, Virginia way. So I used to deal with him in business a long, long time ago. Jeff and Luke Jamison, who invited us down today, we're now showing their collection. Again, amazing stuff. Been lifelong, the family's been lifelong supporters of West Adelaide, and very passionate West Adelaide supporters are the Jamison family.
Faithful have put up with a fair bit the past few years. Glenelg haven't made finals in 8 years, I think now. The boys have a lot of belief in the direction we're going. I think 2019 holds a big year for us.
2018 was clearly disappointing to miss the finals for only the second time in the last 20 years. We're a proud football club and we want to do better.
We're really keen and excited to try and win a premiership. That's why we exist, to win a premiership. Of course, South Adelaide Footy Club hasn't done that since 1964. We are super excited to be the group that actually changes that this year.
We want to achieve something this year as a whole, and we've set ourselves up over the summer to be able to achieve that.
We take a lot of confidence going in towards 2019. We won 13 or 14 in a row and we were probably the best team all year. Hopefully we can go back to that sort of footy in 2019 and we'll be hard to beat again, I think.
I don't think anyone here were happy with the way the year ended, and the boys are all ready and are ready to put pre-season behind us and start playing.
2018 was a bit disappointing because we were aiming to get into finals and fell short. There's a big hunger to win the flag like we did in 2015. Hopefully we can have that success again. Any year you don't win the premiership's disappointing. Our goal every year is to go all the way, so if you don't do that, obviously it's a failure. So we're looking forward to 2019.
As a football club, we don't want to be winning one game in a season when we've got such a rich history of winning grand finals. So to get back to the finals and then to win it, that's just what should come with hard work.
The Roosters are the 2018 stars of the SANFL competition.
We're probably more the hunted now, but I know that our team will still be hunting and striving for that second flag.
Really excited for the year ahead.
We're setting our sights on a big 2019.
We're always ready.
It's a pretty special comp.
We're fit, we're strong, we're ready to win.
The team's really looking forward to 2019.
The Magpies are definitely ready for 2019.
The Eagles are ready for 2019, don't worry.
We're overweighting, let's get started and let's start playing.
Welcome back to 722, our major sponsor, SANFL. The Eagles went to the Lunga and got the chocolates by 3 points. West held on against North at Richmond by 2 points, and a cracking game of footy. And it's looking more and more likely that North will now create history by being the first team in the SANFL to go from wooden spoon to premiers and back to wooden spooners in 3 years, although the SANFL didn't help that. Sturt beat a very, very, very competitive Centrals by 15 points, and again, you got to admire Roy Laird. Said he was resigning at the end of the year. He keeps playing the kids. He'll hand over the keys to someone with a good young list and gained into some good young kids. They got some really good kids out of Centrals, and their reserves are going along nicely as well. Port defeated Adelaide and Port Pirie by 5 goals and jumps to third. Glenelg returned to top spot by percentage over Adelaide, easily accounted for Norwood, kicking 10-5 to 4-1 after half-time. Norwood only kicking 1 goal in the last quarter, only having 1 shot on goal in the last quarter. The leagues now may struggle to play finals, which would mean both of last year's grand finalists will not play finals this year. And it's been a very long time since this happened. You know, North will finish bottom now, and Norwood I can't see making the finals. So the ladder, Glenelg and Adelaide 21 points, Port 18, Sturt 16, South, the Eagles, Norwood 14, Central's West on 4, and North still on 0. having won 2 games to wipe out the -4 deficit. This week, Norwood take on South at Norwood. South to return to the winner's circle. South plays some good footy under my mate Mr. Wright, playing very good footy. North v Adelaide at Prospect. Adelaide too strong, although North are being competitive. Sturt West at Peter Motley Oval. Again, Sturt, but West have been competitive, need to hang on to Colville. The Eagles play Central Sunday at Morteam Oval in the family round. The Eagles comfortably. And then on Sunday, the game of the round is at Alberton, where 3rd place Port take on my beloved Geelong Tigers, who are top. Geelong will win. Geelong will win, and it will say a lot about their finals aspirations as well. So we'll take another break. When we return, we're going to talk the Adelaide Footy League. Back soon.
Looking for a fun night out with friends? Want to enjoy a delicious meal with your family members or loved ones? Head on down to 722 Port Road, Beverley. Join us for happy hour every day. Check out the live sports action on the big screen or try your luck on one of our 40 gaming machines. Then settle in for a casual meal, including pizzas, burgers, pasta, or our famous steaks and schnitties. We've got great specials every day, and we're open for lunch. 722 is also the perfect spot for meetings and functions, featuring AV equipment and customised catering. Drop in and see us at 722 Port Road, Beverley, or check us out online.
Welcome back to 722, our major sponsor. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We had Les from the Facebook group. We've had the interview with the 2 guys in the history group at West Adelaide. We've got one more interview to do, which was 2 premiership players from West Adelaide, Jimmy Wright and the 1962 Magarey medalist Ken Eustace. That's coming up shortly. So Adelaide Footy Week, I've got 5 games to go. Things are really tightening up. The results from Division 1 to 4, as usual, are across the bottom of the screen. We will cover all results come finals. So Division 1 ladder, PAC 11 wins, Payneham and Rocks 9 wins, Goodwood 7 wins, Port District, St Peter's, Brighton 6 wins, Adelaide Uni 5 wins, Henley Teacher Gully 3 wins. So Goodwood's win against Henley, and with the other results actually went Goodwood's way, it means they jumped from 7th to 4th, whilst both Henley and Teacher Gully are 2 games behind Adelaide Uni in the relegation zone. It's going to be very difficult not for those 2 sides to be relegated. This week, Ross-Turbo play Brighton. Rocks will be too strong, plays a great footy. St Peter's, Port Districts. St Peter's at home, but that's the game of the round in Division 1 in my eyes. And that'll be a cracking game out of St Peter's. PAC versus Uni, the top side will be untroubled. Payneham versus Goodwood at Payneham. Payneham too good, but Goodwood's form should make this a cracking game as well. Teacher Gully return home to Pertaringa against Henley. I'll pick Henley without conviction, but being a lot of memory Henley, I think my heart says Henley. Division 2, the Division 2 ladder, things are really hot up here as well. Only 10 wins in a draw. Sacred Heart coming hard, 10 wins. Alfredton again coming hard, 9 wins. Salisbury North have fallen off the wagon a bit, 7 wins and 2 draws. Seaton 6 wins and a draw. Foss Broadview 6 wins. Modbury 4 wins. Scotch 3 wins and a draw. Gaza 1 win and a draw. Scotch upset 2nd place Seaton Ramblers, who dropped to 4th. While Sacred Heart absolutely thrashed Salisbury North, and I was a bit surprised at the margin there, and they've really fallen the whole Salisbury North. Still 7 teams in the hunt, and Scotch keep moving towards going ahead of Modbury in the relegation fight. Be very, very interesting last 5 rounds in this one. So this week, Foss plays Salisbury North at Foss at home. Gaza Unley easily. Gaza have been bottom all year, take a power of work to get over Unley. Modbury v Atherstone at Modbury. Atherstone will be too strong there. Sacred Heart, Seaton Ramblers, the game of the round in my eyes, but Sacred Heart only because it's at Sacred Heart. If it had been Seaton Ramblers, I might have chosen differently. Scotch v Broadview. Scotch at home, who are starting to play some really good footy and have taken some major scalps, and I expect them to take another one in Broadview, but wouldn't be surprised if Broadview got the chocolates. That one's a tough one to pick. So Division 3, the ladder, Galunga 11 wins, Flinders Park 9 wins and a draw, Old Iggy's, North Haven 9 wins, Golden Grove have 8 wins and a draw, Westminster 6 wins, Portland have 5 wins and a draw, lots of draws this year, Plimpton 3 wins and a draw, Morphy Parks and Jeps Cross 1 win each and will probably get relegated. This week sees Flinders Park v Plimpton, Flinders Park at home be much too strong for Plimpton, Golden Grove v Galunga. Glenelga will consolidate top spot, although Golden Grove's a very, very difficult place to play footy. And again, Golden Grove are a good side. Old Iggy's versus Jeps Cross. Old Iggy's won't drop this one, although I said that about Woody South and did 4 last week, and they did get beat. North Haven v Westminster, this is the game of the round. I'll tip North Haven at home, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if Westminster got up. That'll be a cracking game of footy. Portland v Morphy Parks. Portland easily. So Division 4, the ladder. Smosh have 10 wins. CBC and Edwardstown 9 wins. Mission 8 wins. Woodville South and Kilburn have 6 wins. Walkerville, Pembroke, Paraka 5 wins, and Kerlite Gardens have 2 wins, having been in Woodville South on the weekend. So in Division 4, the top 4 now set. It was one of the closest competitions for the year. It's just positional. One game separates 5th and 9th, and so it'll be interesting to see who is relegated with Kerlite Gardens. Could be the second time that someone with 8 wins gets relegated at the end of the season. Woodville South holding that honour, record, sorry. Back in 2011, I was involved with Woody South then. They lost round 18, dropped from 6th to 9th and got relegated because 7, 8, 9 beat 1, 3 and 4. So this week sees Kilburn v Pembroke. Kilburn will win. CBC v Paraka. CBC too strong, they're going along nicely. Woodville South v Edwardstown. Hart says Woody South. But unfortunately, Woody South have lost 4 in a row after getting to second spot 4 weeks ago and are struggling. Edwardstown will be too strong at Woody South's ground. I hope that's not the case, but I think Edwardstown will be too strong. Mission play Smosh in the game of the round. Walkerville, Kerlite Gardens. Walkerville again will be much too strong for the bottom side. Final game in Division 4, Walkerville will be Kerlite Gardens at Walkerville. Walker will be too strong. Well, we'll go to a break and come back to wrap up, but during the break, the interview we did yesterday at the West Adelaide Football Club History Day, the History Group's Show and Tell Day, which was fascinating. We've got some really great footage. We also did an interview with 1962 Magarey Millers Ken Eustace and 1961 Premiership player Jimmy Rowdy Wright. He was a great bloke to talk to. They both were. Ken was there with his lovely wife Leslie, and Jimmy was there with his son Stephen, so we thank those people for hanging around. It was an impromptu interview which was offered to us by the West Adelaide History Group, and we weren't going to say no. So it was a great little chat, some fond memories. Both guys clearly still love the West Adelaide Footy Club. So we're going to take you to the break with that interview, and we'll come back to wrap up. Going to a break from our major sponsor, 722. Back soon. Okay, welcome back. So we're still at the West Adelaide History Group's Show and Tell Day. I'm sitting here with Ken Eustace and Jimmy Wright, 2 ex-players at West Adelaide. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time. So first of all, to you, Ken, how many years do you play here and how many games do you play?
I played, I think I was here for about 7, 8 years, and I think I played, I think it was 82 or something like that. I know I had a bit of I've never really got the exact amount because I had a fallout with them, and when they sacked Curly, I went to Centrals, and I never sort of got anything from the club until sort of in the last couple of years, you know. But apart from that, it was a good club. I came here with we had our best days when we won the grand final, sort of building up to it. We had a good team, it's a team and everything like that in it. But the West Adelaide almost at a short time after winning that grand final, you know, within a few months or year, the club sort of got tight on money, and they weren't paying much money out, and you could get money elsewhere, and they changed Curly out for the club. He got the sack going for winning the guy for winning a premiership, and being a good player. He's a good player, and
Neil was. I was lucky to sort of have played under Floss Williams in games and Jack 80 for a year or so here. But Curly was the best coach because he's a playing coach and is an inspirational person. That sort of you felt the younger guys like that. We felt guarded when we were out there. If we got backhand or something like that, wasn't long before that person hit the dust. And he was great, and that wrecked the whole thing. After that, I had signed with Footscray. They wouldn't clear me, and so they stood me out for 8 weeks to even talk. And in that time, I got Central Districts as a non-playing coach because I couldn't play. And from that side of it, I sort of fell right out of not the players, but I fell out of West Adelaide because it was the administration at the time to sort of sack Curly and have favourites, and also weren't paying Provident funds and things like that. It went from the Provident fund, it wasn't there, and so I gave West Adelaide away, not the players, but I got the way they handled it. And I came back after retiring. I came back. They asked me to be president of the club, have a go. So I signed up as president. The first thing I did was to go to the cupboards and find out all the books where all the money's gone and things like that. There's nothing there.
Okay. And what about you, Jimmy? How many games do you play and what years?
201.
Wow.
A few state games, but no, basically I was brought up here. I came out here when I was about 15.
Yeah.
Virtually lived out here. 16, I won the McCullum medal.
Yep, that was the under 17 medal.
Yeah, and Aldo Reeser won the same year. Won the Tonkin medal.
Yep.
And we both got a lovely trophy actually from a chap named Bert Edwards. Remember Bert? A couple of blazers. With Sturt P.
Okay. And we're in the Sturt P room today.
Yeah. Trouble, that's probably one of my worst faults. I never appreciated the effort people put in to give you trophies for this and that.
Yep.
Because all your ambition is to win a grand final.
Yep.
That was mine anyway.
Yep. And you won one, you were in the premiership team?
Yes, well, I came in at 52, at 17.
Wow.
With Ian Day, we played the last 4 games of the season. I played that season. I played in the under 19s then.
Yeah, 17s, 19s reserves.
We played the Victorians on the LA Oval and I won the best on ground.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. I walked from here to Eldon Oval. We had that much time to spare. Yeah. But it woke me up because we didn't have a club, never had a club. And to see all their trophies and the atmosphere of a club was a big deal.
Fantastic, thank you for that. And so you went to Centrals, but did you also play at Glenelg South or coach Glenelg South?
I came from the country. I played for Swan Reach, and I won the Male medal in that area. And then I was under 19s, and West Adelaide gave me an offer to come down, and I came down in the under 19s, and Jeff Bray was the captain then, and he went up.
Good Henley boy, Jeff Bray.
Yeah, terrific player. Yeah, and Don Roach and quite a few, and myself were all under 19s, and I sort of took the captaincy then. And the luck that we had, I think that we were playing curtain raiser to the A grade in those years. So you had the league players looking at you, sort of the coaches, just all the people yelling at you. So they're sort of picking out people. So it gave a great atmosphere. So we had a very good team. And at that, and then from there, I played a couple of seconds game and got up to the league game from there. And that was just one of those things that they really were taking the players from the under 19s, Don Roach and a few people like that. We all sort of went up and we could train the training. I remember the first night we went out to training. Don Roach and I went out, and it was a Thursday night, and the A grade was going, they were kicking. We couldn't get a kick, couldn't get a touch, and we were standing there like a couple of posts, and Ken McGregor saw us, and he had the ball, and Don Roach said, "Over here, Mr. McGregor," and he handballed it to him, and he gave it to me, and we got a kick, and then we got in the circle. But other than that, we couldn't break the circle.
Fantastic.
After that, we got to know the players.
Beautiful.
I was actually working with Hanson Young, and Neil Curley was also there, and we were driving trucks and that, so we got to know him as well. So I think that from all of that country coming out, I think I had an advantage by sort of getting to play in the Colts and then getting to know the players, the A-grade players, and Jack Odie was a coach at one stage, and he was quite good.
So he coached him before he went to Sturt, didn't he?
Yeah.
2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years at Nord and 2 years here?
Yeah. He was very good on, he was great on handball, which is West Adelaide were good at anyway.
Yep.
And he was very good at that. And but then it sort of got to the stage where Neil and that were just coming out to sort of go their turn. They were going well enough to take on that time, to take on coaching and get an outside coach, so he left them. But he left us with a lot of skills, you know, and apart from that, the rest of it was just the players at West Adelaide that I played with, and probably Jim played, the players are all good, you know. The players are generally good anyway. It's the administrations that make or break you, you know. And sometimes they will have a favourite. Sometimes they'll make reasonable money. Sometimes they won't. And there's all sorts of without putting a nail into it, but they did have their favourites, you know, but the administration was with West Adelaide in the time I had always seemed to have a bit of an argument somewhere along the line.
And over here, Jimmy, what was your? Well, you would have seen a lot of changes. I mean, you're here 52. Would have seen a lot of changes between then and now, even though you're still only in your 40s. What changes have you seen, and what's your favourite moment?
Changes? Oh, well, I mean, most of our players came through the junior ranks. Nowadays, they're coming from interstate and what have you. Rules have changed like anything. I think it's very hard for some decisions with the umpires. That sling tackle, how you know, tell the difference, you know. But no, big changes. There was one little incident that happened, what I was talking about earlier, when I came up the last 4 games. Of course, I was nicknamed Rowdy. They couldn't get anything out of me.
I was going to say, I can't imagine why.
One of the games, I had a bloke named Dick Russell, back pocket player, and all port players had to have 2 arms to get around him. Anyway, I got him holding the ball, and I thought, I've got to make this look good. I never did a drop kick in my life for goals. Just passing, stabbing and all that, all right, but not for goals. And of course I thought, I better make this look good. Of course I missed, buggered it up. And it's right down the southern end where all the Wesley supporters used to be. And Dick put his arm, he was at about retiring age then, put his arm around my shoulder and said, that's all right, son, you'll do all right. Yeah? So years down the track, when we eventually won the grand final in '61, Nord's had a young player, I don't know who was, didn't play many games, but who's doing what they do now, hang on to you and not let you loose or anything. I said, you keep this up, and I never was like this. I said, you keep this up and you're going to cop one. And so he kept it up and it went whack. Okay? So about a good few years later on, I had a function here, and one of our supporters come up and he said, Jim, he said, I could have reported you. He said, I was the goal umpire that day. But no, that last 4 games, I sat on the fence at Theberton, and Neil Curley was alongside me. And he still doesn't know that I sat alongside him. I think he must have went to the Nashos and they wanted to bind him up so he could play later on down the track. And one of the only times I've seen Brian Fazey get injured. He came off in about second quarter, something like that. And Neil went on and he stood Lindsay head. And he's still grizzling to this day that he marked the ball and Lindsay took it out of his hands. He's abusing Applin, you know. No, there was good times and bad times. But that was in 52. Yep. 53 was, and I ended up going back. I thought I might get a game soon. I did so well. I went back to the Bees for 3 games and got 8 goals in 1 game and something else anyway. And so they brought me back. And of course Colin Brown was the first rover in those days. He used to be a back pocket player. And he kicked 42 goals in that one season and we were rock bottom. And I kicked 33. So it was about 75 goals. Something like that. But next year we played in the grand final, and it'd be the smallest side I've ever seen in league football. We had about 4 rovers. We called them rovers those days. Had about 4 rovers and swapping them all around the place and blowed me down. And the last couple of minutes I kicked the ball. It looks like going straight through and hits the tip of the top.
Was that the one where they reckon Curley went and cut off the goalpost at Adelaide Oval?
No.
No, that wasn't that one?
No, this is 54.
Okay.
54. Brian Fazey never lets me alone on that. I'm still crying about it. And well, he said it was a left footer, it wasn't, but it was chicken hay, you know, chicken hay. Yeah. I knew it was getting closer. I'm in the pack. I just slammed it on my boot, and it was a high one. The wind just rifted it across, and down she went. But no, in 54, I was lucky enough to get in the state side as well in that 1 year. Then we had a few losses through that time. Through the 50s, until we got to, I don't know, 56 is a punch-up at 56, wasn't it? Yeah. I reckon everybody else but West Adelaide was fighting.
Fantastic. And finally, gentlemen, final question to both of you, and again, really appreciate your time today. Favourite player that you played with or against in your time? Here's a tough one for you. And Kenny, I know you won a McGarry medal, but favourite player that you played with or against?
I think I'd have to say, like the West Adelaide, they're players like Tim and Fazey and were good players, but I got to know Neil Curley well and I was playing with him.
Yeah, you were good mates.
And I found that he didn't. He was an unselfish player for himself, but he protected the side. He'd always play for the side.
He probably wouldn't get a game these days, would he? He'd be rubbed out.
Well, he went into... He was sort of protecting, and anything sort of went wrong, he'd clean it up. So you felt safe. If you got injured and it wasn't a broken leg or anything, you couldn't leave the ground. The forward pocket, you had to go down the forward pocket and let that come out. And that sort of thing, but in that time I think it was just the laws of football was quite loose, and I think in a way the laws are better now because at least there's less of that thuggery going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And over to you, Jimmy, favourite player you played with or against?
Oh, that's a very hard one. Very, very, very hard. I just sticking to my own side. I love Jackie Lynch.
Yep.
As a player, it was a long track that we got there. I will say this, that in the 61 grand final, I put a lot of the dues to Curly because he virtually sent De Bro as a forward, sent him loose, and he ended up getting 5 goals as a ruckman. And Neil, he settled on Bill Wedding, didn't he? Kept him quiet. Yeah.
Bill said that he kept him jumping into Big Bill for the ruck.
Yeah.
Big Bill is a lovely gentleman.
We had some.
He said, Neil, if you do that again, I'll be forced to strike you. And Bill said, well, have a bloody go.
We had some real like De Bro, not De Bro, Leonard Driscoll, you know, like a tank, wasn't he? Leonard Driscoll, and that was the other ruck rower. I can't think who he was, man.
De Bro came out of the under-19s as well. And Don Roach, they're a great side. So we got to lift up. We're getting lifted up at 18s and 19s with the Curleys and Jimmy Wright and players like that. Has sort of made our future a lot easier. You know?
All right, fantastic. So to Ken, thank you, and thank you to your wife Leslie, lovely to meet you. And to you, Jimmy, and your son Stephen, thank you for your time today, lovely to meet you. And we'll wrap that up. On behalf of Centre Bounce, we've been at West Adelaide Football Club for the History Show and Tell. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Welcome back to we're wrapping up from 7:22. So the Henley Footy Club are establishing an open women's footy team in 2020. It will complement their strong junior women's program. They're looking for expression of interest from both players and coaches. We'll put the details on our screen. But contact Danielle Robin, wife of Matthew Robin from the Crows. Applications for coaches close the 31st of July, but they really want to get this up and running. So we've got Danielle's details on the screen, their phone number. The email is girls@henleysharksjuniors.com.au, or ring the Henley Footy Club or visit their website, Henley Sharks Football Club. Woodville South are also looking to launch an open women's footy side in 2020. They've just started to have their advertising this weekend and asked us if we would drive that one as well. Expressions of interest can go from the players at this stage, can go to the footy director Peter Johnson. Peter's a good mate of mine, good bloke. We worked together for 9 years at Woody South. Email Peter at peter@adfelt.com.au and he will come back to you. Also, don't forget the Reckley Club. We'll just hold there for a minute. We just got this in. Dear John, please mention my pie night. Wednesday the 20th of July at the Hotel Metropolitan from 5 p.m. I will be starring with my mate Saucy Paws. Kind regards, Sean Kemp. Adelaide Red Cup. There you go, Sean, I did mention it. Okay, we'll keep going. So up to the silliness of silliness. Only one for you this week, from Anthony Hudson. Great commentator, one of the best commentators going around. Comment, the side has built a platform. The only problem was there was no high-vis vest and there was no hard hats in sight. And as I mentioned earlier, Port lose this week, second loss in a row. There'll be a pair of losses. So the competition, don't forget the 7:22 competition. Details are on the screen. All you need to do is come in here for a meal, upload a photo of yourself having a meal here at 7:22 to their Facebook page, our Facebook page, our website. Use the hashtag CB19, and we'll again draw the prizes at random at our last show after the AFL Grand Final. 7:22 specials every day. I had a burger here last week, burger and a pint of beer for $18. I've also had $12.50 schnitzels on a Monday night. They're really trying hard. Support local business, that's all I can say. Thank you to our sponsors, 7:22, Bella Vita Pizzeria and Sam and Reddick. I'll see you Thursday night for a pizza, and Spine Care Chiropractic. Hayden, hopefully you can save me. I was meant to see you for a realignment. So remember, it's important. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. On behalf of Darren Andrews, Matthew Lynch, and your compere myself, John Lawrence, thanks for watching Centre Bounce, and we'll see you next week. Bye, folks.